Hi, I'm Berney Flowers. I'm one of Uncle Sam's wayward children. Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. This is episode 3. I believe that our country's best days are still in front of us, but if we're going to reach those best days, we're going to have to change the direction of the country right now. I ask that you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Now, let's get started. Have you been down to Baltimore's Inner Harbor lately? It's kind of dead. The people who used to go down there and spend money and have a good time and increase the tax base, they don't want to go down there much anymore. It's too much crime, too many carjackings, and too many bad things happening. The waterfront mall that used to house Bubba Gump Shrimp and launch tours into the Inner Harbor, well, a lot of those storefronts are empty now. Mayor Scott and the crew at City Hall just did a tax abatement deal with MCB Real Estate to allow them to have 3 years of future planning and cost abated, and so they could plan out what they were going to do with the mall down there. That's your tax money, remember? MCB co-founder David Bramble says he needs more time to develop a turnaround strategy. And the board members who approved that deal did so without question or comment. In the meantime, Mayor Scott was last week down at a African American mayor's conference, so he missed the meeting. Businesses in Chicago, Baltimore, San Francisco, they're gradually moving out of the city because they can't make money with the crime the way it is. So, like for instance, in Chicago, where will the people shop when Walmart moves out? They're making plans to do that, by the way. Baltimore residents, is this what you voted for? Is this what 5 decades of Democratic rule looks like to you? Perhaps it's time for a change. Maryland's General Assembly just concluded. Here's what your legislators did for you while they were in session. Let's start with HB 535. It allows unsigned mail-in ballots to be authenticated via text messages. How will we secure those text messages? SB 1 unconstitutionally denies legal gun permit owners the right to carry self-defense weapons in many places. This bill passed both the chambers of the House and the Senate in Maryland and brings it one step closer to being signed into law. HB 283 funds gender reassignment for minors to include hormone blockers and puberty blockers for children, your children. Think about it. SB 224 bans the sale of non-electric trucks, meaning that our vehicles in the future, the near future, will be far, far more expensive. HB 287 decriminalizes intentionally infecting someone with HIV. Now, why in the world would we want to decriminalize someone who intentionally gave HIV to another person? Remember, the next time you vote, elections have consequences. Let's talk about Black on Black crime. It's overwhelming in a lot of cities in the United States. It's mostly young Black men killing young Black men. Bill Maher talked about it on his TV show last week. The question of the day is, how come famous Black celebrities aren't talking about all this Black on Black crime? They're afraid to address it. Maybe it's something we should talk about. Maybe Bill Maher is onto something. Let's talk about reparations. Dr. Phil, the famous TV show host, is going to have Mr. Carter Woodson, who is a longtime civil rights activist. He's going to have him on his show this week, and I expect to look at it and watch it and enjoy it. The idea and the topic is reparations, and Mr. Woodson does not support reparations. Some critics say that today's generation shouldn't have to pay for things that they didn't do. On the other hand, Mr. Woodson says that white people being the oppressors and Black people being the victims, that's far too simple of a story. For example, he says that 3,700 free blacks owned 12,000 slaves during the course of slavery in the United States. Let that sink in. That's interesting. I didn't even know that. Some cities like San Francisco are looking to give people as much as $5 million per family in order to give folks reparations. The question of the day is now, who qualifies as black? And also, where will all that money come from? I look forward to seeing Dr. Phil's TV show this week. Well, let's talk about my favorite subject, and that would be Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch and their loss of $6 billion when they were trying to use their transgender TikTok influencer, Dylan Mulvaney, who believes he's a woman, as its spokesperson. Alyssa Heinerscheid, the vice president of marketing for Bud Light, has taken a leave of absence. Some people think she was fired. Bottom line is she's a middle-aged, upper-income, Ivy League educated woman who happens to be totally out of touch with what America wants and desires, and that especially includes in its beer. Well, Heinerscheid's out-of-touch perception of reality has lost Anheuser-Busch, her boss, a whole lot of money. How stupid can one corporation be? They were chasing after the corporate equity index score, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's the bottom line that we're experiencing right now in the West and especially in America. And that is not working here. And that goes double for Disney and Netflix. So all the BlackRock's clients are taking a second look, or let's hope, at how they're advertising their products. I say, count this as a win. Well, that's about it for now. You've been listening to the Loyal Opposition Podcast with Berney Flowers. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll tune in again. Please like, share, and subscribe. We produce it in association with Liberty Arise Media and other podcasters. I ask that you check out my new book, Black Values Matter. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on iTunes, and you can get it on Audible. And remember, it's okay to disagree, but if we want our country to prosper like it should, we're going to have to agree on civility, transparency, and unity from everyone, especially ourselves. You take care of yourself, and remember, we are the Loyal Opposition.